Yo, what's going on guys, it's Rest. In this video, I just want to go over what I'm going to be running day 1 when the raid boss launches, which is actually coming out tomorrow with DLC 6. Now, not only are we getting the raid boss, we're also getting a bunch of new content, so if you guys would like to see any of that, be sure to stick around to the channel. I'm on the road to 10,000 subs, so having you on this journey would be greatly appreciated. But going into the DLC, this is what I'm going to be running, and on top of that, I'm going to talk about some things you can do to prepare for this. But I'm mainly going to be focusing on a Phasecast build. I've mainly ran Phasecast builds throughout the entire of this game. That's been my main build, so it's what I'm most comfortable with. I would highly recommend running what you're most comfortable with, but I'm also going to have access to swap to things like Taz Divine if I need to, declare ads out in the boss room. So I'm running a Maggie. Maggie is classic. Everybody loves the Maggie. It works pretty well on every single character, and it works really well on a Phasecast Tomorrow build. Same thing as the Hellwalker. The Hellwalker is a very good shotgun. Phasecast anoint. All of these weapons are going to have Phasecast anoints. It's just a shotgun that can do a ton of damage really quick. Now what's funny is that I'm actually running a Zetzev Eruption and an Execute. Now veteran players probably know why I'm running these, but if you don't, these essentially can apply debuff to enemies. This is going to apply a debuff when you get it to max heat. It's actually going to shoot out these rockets, and every single time the rocket hits enemy, it applies a debuff to them. But then on top of that, the Execute right here as well is when you get the magazine completely empty, so from 13 to 0 and reload it, it's actually going to apply a debuff as well. So these are just there to debuff the boss if need be, or just any tankier enemy that might be in the area. I probably will end up swapping these out for other things, but they're just a safe thing to bring with you just in case. Now the other weapons over here, I have a bunch of the same thing with just 3 of the main elements: shock, incendiary, and corrosive, because who knows what's going to be the main thing. It's probably going to be incendiary, being that it is a Varkit, but they could add some armor onto it or something, so that's why I have corrosion, and I'm just carrying all 3 just in case. We have a light show with Phasecast anoints and all 3 elements. Light show is really good, especially with this build. You're going to be able to reload the thing really quick. You're going to be able to just plow through a ton of enemies, do a lot of DPS, and we just all know how crazy the light show is. Now I'll get back to these in a second, but then same thing, I have a Monarch right here with the exact same anoint. They're all going to do really good, just in case I need to do some mad DPS. And then right here, Sandhawks as well with the same anoints. Now these could actually be getting a nerf. There's rumors we're going to be getting a huge hotfix on the release of this DLC, so they could nerf things like the Monarch, so I would recommend carrying something like the Sandhawk or even the Light Show, but you never know. Then for grenades, I have its piss grenades because I just like to pile the debuff, but I have ASC anoints of cryo, corrosive, shock, and radiation. Then on my shield, I have incendiary. The shield I'm going to be running is the plus ultra for a couple different reasons, but I'll get into that in a second. Then I have a artifact here that covers launch pad, so if I ever need to refill ammo with any of these weapons, I can simply swap this, slam the ground, and I get ammo. Now for things like the Unleash the Dragon, the Psycho Stabber, and the Companion, plus on top of that the Stinger Shield and the Breaker, I'm bringing this just in case they don't nerf this, but I'm pretty sure you know at this point, with something like the Stinger and the Psycho Stabber, applying the Elemental Dot with Unleash the Dragon, you can just instant melt bosses in the game. Like, it's kind of crazy how fast you can kill them. I'm 100% betting that this is going to get nerfed, but if it doesn't, I'm bringing it just in case, because we'll be able to kill the raid boss in seconds, but I'm guaranteed that it's going to be a slight change to the way the interaction of all those work. So that's why I'm including those as well. So the plus ultra I'm running because it's going to give you a lot of health, which works really well on Amara with her sustainment skill, so you can keep refilling that and you're not going to die. Plus this is going to give you more cooldown rate to get your axe to go back, and you can absorb ammo to reduce some damage. Then for the class mod, Phasecast, it's really good for any build like this, Phasecast build specifically. This one's gonna be more weapon damage, magazine size, and axe cooldown rate. And then for the main artifact is Pearl of Ineffable Knowledge. Gives you a huge damage boost, and you're gonna need it for fighting the raid boss. Now I'm not gonna go over every single skill with this because I have plenty of videos on my channel going over Phasecast builds. Essentially, Mystical Assault, pretty much the whole tree. 5 points to do harm is really good because your Phasecast is gonna do damage. Plus, if you do swap the Taz Divine, that means all your linked targets are gonna take more damage. Pretty much same thing right here. Make sure you take 5 points of Tempest to get that elemental damage, 3 indiscriminate to ricochet enemies to make ag clear easier, and then 1 in sustainment so you can keep healing. Then Brawl, 3 points of Pearls of Space is pretty much always a must. You get an insane amount of damage with this. I would actually recommend putting some in Helping Hands to get some damage reduction when you cast your Phasecast, which is hopefully all the time. And if you have the new skill trees, Trusting yourself works really good with the Plus Ultra, because if you don't know, the Plus Ultra has an extremely low shield capacity, extremely fast charge rate, so this is always going to be breaking, but you have that huge health bar to mitigate all the low shield, so you're always going to have to reload speed, charge speed, and weapon spot speed pretty much at all times, which is really nice. Plus, you're going to have access to all 4 of the access skill elements that you can get on Amara with this, just in case you need to swap anything out. So that is pretty much it for the actual build I'm running itself. If you want to pause and copy everything down, you can, and I actually will be posting the save file in my Discord if you just want to get some of the gear for your character before the thing starts. But I think I would highly recommend you doing for prepping for this DLC, not just the raid boss in general, is make sure you have a lot of Iridium saved up. Obviously we have the reroll thing coming, the raid boss itself is going to cost Iridium to get into, so you're going to need a lot of Iridium. 45,000 is a good bit. It's not even as much as what some people has, but 45,000 is a good chunk of Iridium. I'm probably going to be trying to get some more before, but if you have very low amounts, be sure to stack up on some Iridium. On top of that, be sure to clean your vault out. I have a lot of work to do here. I have 378 of 400 items. There are going to be a lot of new items coming with the DLC releasing, and on top of that, actually some updates coming out to Designer's Cut, which is actually giving it 4 more items in Arms Race, which is actually a random surprise, which is cool. But we're gonna have a lot more items, so be sure you clean this out. I'm definitely gonna be doing this tonight, and just make sure you have space for all the new loot. But honestly, that's about it for the prep for DLC 6. Honestly, with this DLC releasing, it's kind of making it, I don't want to say a new game, but if there was ever a time to get back into Borderlands, it's definitely right now. They're adding a bunch of different systems to change the way you play the game. They're actually balancing the game a lot now. There's a raid boss finally coming, which I know could be argued there should have been in the game at launch, but whatever with that. And it's also added a bunch of other new gear, new stories, a new battle pass like system, which is going to get you these new rewards as well. So there's a lot of good stuff coming. I would highly recommend checking it out if you haven't seen anything, but I'm sure if you watched this far in this video, you probably know everything that's coming. But let me know what you guys are going to be running, who you're going to go into the raid balls first with, Amara, Mose, Zane, or Flak. Let me know what builds you're going to be taking, all the gear, because I would love to know. But that's going to do all for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.